What if you're the one that God placed in your family to change what generations before you simply couldn't? If you're a cycle breaker, I want you to hear something today. Because I know there are moments when you've probably wondered, why me? Why am I the one who sees it? Why am I the one who has to say something? Why am I the one setting boundaries and having hard conversations, doing the healing and trying to make sure that these patterns don't get passed to another generation? And maybe there are days when you wish you could just go back to not seeing it. And there's a moment in the book of Esther, we've been studying that this week, that I think speaks directly to cycle breakers. Esther found herself in a position that she never asked for, facing circumstances that she never would have chosen. And when an entire people were threatened, Mordecai said something to her that has echoed for thousands of years. He said, "Who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" In other words, Esther, maybe you are here for a reason. Maybe this moment requires something from you. Maybe you have been uniquely positioned to change what happens next. And you, cycle breaker, maybe you need to hear that too. Maybe you were born for such a time as this. Now, that doesn't mean God caused the dysfunction. It doesn't mean he wanted you to experience pain. And it certainly doesn't mean that doing the right thing will always feel easy. It didn't for Esther. When she finally decided to step forward, she said, "If I perish, I perish." That's courage. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's deciding that something matters more than your fear. And breaking cycles requires that same kind of courage. Because sometimes you will be the first person in your family to tell the truth about what everyone else has learned to ignore. The first to set a boundary. The first to get help. The first to stop pretending. The first to say, "This may have been normal in our family, but it will not be normal in mine." And being the first can be incredibly lonely. People may misunderstand you. They may call your courage rebellion. They may call your boundaries selfishness. They may prefer the version of you who stayed quiet because your silence made everyone else more comfortable. But Esther reminds us that there are moments when silence is not what God is asking of us. Sometimes faith looks like stepping forward. Sometimes faith looks like speaking the truth. Sometimes faith looks like standing alone for a season because you believe God is leading you somewhere different. And I want you to remember something really important. You are not only breaking something, you are building something. You are building a healthier inheritance for the people who come after you. That means more truth. That means more safety. It means more accountability and more peace. It means more love that actually looks like love. So if this journey feels heavy today, don't automatically confuse difficult with wrong. Maybe you have come to this moment, to this family, to this generation, to this exact place in the story for such a time as this. Keep going, because God can do extraordinary things through one person who has the courage to stand up and say, "The cycle stops here."